It is at this time that the Antichrist imposes his infamous 666 One World Credit System.
And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. And his number is 666.
666, the mark of the beast. Almost everybody has heard something about this prophecy that says that in the last days, no one will be able to buy or sell anything unless they get the devil's mark. Well, today, we're the first generation with the technology available to fulfill such a prophecy of a cashless society. For instance, every item in this supermarket has been barcoded with its own personal identification number.
You may have noticed that this barcode, known as the Uniform Product Code System, has 3 unnumbered bars or lines at its beginning, middle, and end, which are slightly longer than its other bars. All these other lines correspond to a different number. Well, pay attention to this particular line. It is designated as corresponding to the number 6. And as you can see, it is exactly the same as the 3 unmarked lines that are also 6s. So every barcoded item is in fact marked with a 666. The 666 barcode system of identification is the basis of other trends and technologies that are rapidly leading us towards the one world credit system described in Revelation chapter 13.
At present, in this supermarket, there are just 3 ways in which I can pay for this shopping. I can use cash, or I can write a check, or I can pay by credit card. Another system that is being promoted in many countries of the world today is the debit card. Now, when I give my debit card to the cashier, she runs it through an electronic scanner which is linked to my bank account. Then the money is taken from my bank account and put in the store's account, all in a split second.
Debit cards have already been introduced in many parts of the world and are extremely popular with stores, banks, and customers. Then there's the IC card, or the smart card, which actually has a little computer chip embedded in the card. You probably read about these electronic marvels that not only give you access to your bank account, but also contains your passport, medical record, driver's license, photographs, welfare eligibility, and all kinds of other data. These are already being tested in various parts of the world. So as you can see, we are fast on the way to eliminating cash, and there are many compelling reasons why. Cash is the very mother's milk of drug smugglers who often deal in cash a suitcase full at a time. With no cash, the sale of illegal drugs would cease. In fact, to eliminate cash would eliminate almost every kind of criminal activity, from theft to terrorism, and be an instant cure-all for many of the world's most desperate social and economic ills. No wonder governments are pushing towards the cashless society with unrestrained enthusiasm.
However, before cash, checks, and credit cards can be phased out completely, they have to develop an identification system that is absolutely foolproof and will ensure that a person presenting a card for a transaction is actually the owner of that card.
Various foolproof ID systems have already been developed, like this fingerprint reader. However, the only problem with these machines is that they are extremely expensive. For a completely cashless society to work, there would have to be one at every little shop and retail outlet where anything is bought and sold.
Whereas these identification terminals cost many thousands of dollars each, the little microchip embedded in the plastic smart card costs only a few dollars each. So, what if you took the chip out of the card and placed it under the skin? Once the chip has been implanted, it can be read by an inexpensive scanner, much like the one at your local grocery store. So you now become your own smart card. And the very expensive problem of making sure that the owner of the card is who he says he is has been solved.
In the US, the Department of Health and Human Services says that full-scale implantation of the new microdot identification project is already underway in Washington, D.C. and several other test cities. These tiny computer chips, no larger than the head of a pin, cost less than 25 cents each and are injected a quarter-inch under the skin. They are activated by a small handheld scanner and provide flawless identification of the person in whom it was implanted. So as we can see, the technology and the public acceptance to make the Mark of the Beast system work is rapidly falling into place. Already we are constantly hearing about the New World Order or global community, and these buzz slogans are slowly sinking in as the world heads towards an international financial and political system, a cashless society controlled by a computer database that covers the entire globe, keeping track of every man, woman, and child, where they cross borders, and when they buy and sell. Exactly like the one predicted in Revelations chapter 13, nearly 2,000 years ago.
If any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture, and the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever.
That may seem like pretty stiff punishment for simply accepting a mark that allows you to buy groceries. However, this prophecy indicates that receiving the mark of the beast is not merely an economic decision, but also implies acceptance and worship of the Satan-possessed Antichrist and a pledge of allegiance to his anti-God global regime.
And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
This